But let's find out. Is it better than Eagle Rare 17? I already know it's not. I just took a nose of the Euro 17 and I already know it's not.
I could
on
even
the table, people.
I could even hear you like slam that down. You were like,
you're
nope.
like, all right, judgment already decided. Yeah. Welcome once again to Chill Filtered, the podcast where we drink BTAC so you don't have to. That's right. Buffalo Trace Antique Collection. It's a very special episode, but before we get into any of the whiskey, any of the business, any of anything, let's get to the real business of how you can support us. We are a small channel, everyone, and it would really help us if you subscribed on YouTube. Hey, you don't want to get notified that our video comes out. You don't even have to press the bell. Just support us, please. If you're loving this, if you're enjoying some talk about life, talk about whiskey, and drinking about whiskey, drinking about life. No, I'm kidding. We don't drink about life sometimes. But that is one way you can support us, is subscribe on YouTube. We've got a few new YouTube subscribers, and we appreciate that. We're hoping to get to at least 500, and then we're hoping to get to more after that. But that's our goal. 500 would be dope.
We're hoping to get to 500, and then we're hoping to just coast after that. Just dwindle and
just bring it back down to like 100.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. Small community.
Exactly. Yeah, we love our listeners and viewers. Especially that we have less. No, I'm kidding. That's the business for this week. Brian, I want to hear about your life, but I want to hear first about what you're entry buzzing on.
Yes, very good. Well, the distillery of BTAC is Buffalo Trace, so Buffalo Trace.
Nice.
Probably one of my oldest bottles that I still have and is still open. This thing has been sitting around in my cabinet for probably like two years.
Because it's a great pour, but you can outdo it in so many ways.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It is a pick from a store I do not go to anymore called Skyline.
Not
Skyline.
since the accident.
Yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah. I frequented that store and they knew me and I knew them, and it was a nice relationship, but they would not cut me. They would not cut me any slack on stuff in the back room, man. I would try to, after, spending a decent amount of money there, they still would not budge. They were wanting like 300 for a Stagg, and I was like, y'all are crazy. So never went back.
Yeah. That's capitalism for you.
Yeah. I totally get it. Get it. Someone's going to pay that. That's what they would say. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I'll see you later.
No, but like what you're doing is capitalism. You know what I mean?
True.
Like not what they're doing. What they're doing is truly capitalism, but there's supply and demand on your side and their side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So you not going to them for that stuff anymore might lower their prices or might make them more reasonable. This is why I love capitalism. But don't get me started. I'm not like a hardcore capitalist or anything like that. I just think that like things even themselves out in a capitalist. I don't know. We're not political. But I think that there's always give and take. There's just supply and demand, baby.
Yeah.
So go on. How's your life?
Well, first off, what are you entry buzzing on? I want to hear.
You thought similarly to what I thought similarly to. I actually went a little bit of a step up. Eagle Rare, 10-year. And it is probably one of the best things you could probably drink before a BTAC sampling, because, two of these have the same mash bill. And but the profile of Buffalo Trace is even on the rye mash bill. I'm talking every mash bill they do is very similar, in my opinion. Very appley, very fresh / baked apples mixed together, cherries, beautiful oak. Like I imagine we'll get some of that on pretty much every pour we're drinking today, which I haven't had any of them. But I was thinking like Eagle Rare is probably like the perfect step to go up on the BTAC. So
That's what I was going to do too. And then when I pulled the drawer open, my eyes went straight to Buffalo Trace, and I was like, screw it. I haven't had Buffalo Trace in forever. We did a show a couple weeks ago where I entry buzzed on Eagle Rare, and I was like, I haven't had just Buffalo Trace in so long. So, and then I also thought double entry buzz. Maybe I'll do E.H. Taylor, the 100 proof rye. As a good, have a rye starting point and a bourbon starting point, but whatever, just Buffalo Trace. I got enough to drink already as it is today.
I do love those pours, and they make a darn good whiskey sour or old fashioned.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Darn good. Do you do whiskey sours? Are you a whiskey sour man?
I used to a lot, but lately, nah. And I'm like fresh lemon juice or bust. I will not do no. I'm no egg.
Wait.
I just don't want to deal with it. I just don't want to deal with it.
But it's not about the texture or anything like that, or the idea of an egg.
No, not at all.
Yeah. It is a little more, but I think it's worth it, personally.
I usually just don't want to deal with it. And I'll tell you what, if you shake your whiskey sour with crushed ice, the crushed ice in there does, like, it's not the same. Don't get me wrong. It's not the same as the egg white, but it does have like a frothy foam top from all the extra aeration from the crushed ice anyway. So it's kind of like a lazy, almost half as good foam froth that you get from just doing crushed ice. So that's usually what I do.
Okay. No, I can respect that. So what do you do? Just simple syrup, lemon, and bourbon?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like quarter, half, to some to one for all the ingredients there. Quarter, half.
Okay, so like 2 to 1 to 1.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Probably a better way to put that.
What do? I do 2 ounces bourbon. I do 1 ounce of so I do 2-1, but I do a 3/4 ounce pour of simple syrup.
Okay.
So it's not, it would be, I guess that would technically be 8 to 4 to 3.
There you go.
Really count things, but
that was quick
with a 2
quick math though. That was good.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I can math.
So I got a Fry's lottery update for you here before we get rolling.
Dang it!
So
Bring it on.
There's that, and there's something else too, by the way.
What?
And now you'll see. Hold on. So first off, humongous, gigantic shout out to my in-laws, Jim and Patty.
Huge.
Jim and Patty went out of their way to go to the Tucson Fry's lottery for me, and sure enough, they got a call from Mark, and it was Patty's ticket again. So she won twice in a row. She got a Thomas H. Handy last year. She got a Pappy 20 this year.
Wow. Patty is a St. Patty's Day gold, or not gold, green shamrock right there.
There you go. Yeah. Pappy for Patty. So thank you very much. That's just absolutely incredible. And I was like, she texted, she was like, yeah, Mark just called. He said Pappy 20 for $280. And I was like, you are kidding me. I was like, that is, we had a conversation about this prior. And I was like, I don't think they have any Pappy 23s, but they probably have like maybe one Pappy 20. So that would be the most expensive thing that you might have to buy, have to buy. But I was like, they probably only have one of these. And then here, sure enough, she gets like the one. That's like the best one you can get at the event. That's just insane.
Shout out to Patty Mathwig.
And so shout out to some other guy. I don't know who it is, but there is someone who is currently getting absolutely roasted on the Arizona Bourbon Bourbon Society Facebook group. So people have been showing up to these Fry's events, like 24 hours early. Yeah. And people have been showing up after a couple drinks. People have been bringing their own drinks to drink in line. Yeah. Some dude, and again, I have no idea who this was. Some dude passed out, peed himself, puked everywhere in the Fry's line in the middle of the night.
Was he close to the front is the question.
I have no idea where he was at, but like people started, like there was like
lightweight.
I assume they brought this over. I assume this didn't just conveniently happen next to him, but there was a wet floor sign next to him in the photo that I saw, that just like fortunately for him, I guess. I mean, I'm sure some people know who he is, but you can't see his face in the photo, so at least he's not like
funny,
his whole like persona is getting
what do
just
you
outed
do?
for this.
You know?
But yeah, I know, right? But
You're
now
like, make sure he's still breathing.
Yeah, I know for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they kicked him out of the line. You know, that I bet the police were called. I don't actually know, but so the memes are just flowing. The memes are flowing on the Facebook group, and like they made a new banner for the group up top, and so one of my favorite one was the viewpoint from the photo is like he's laying on the ground with his like butt and feet towards the camera, and you can see like the wet spot on the crotch where he peed himself and everything. So somebody took the recent Olympics with the breakdancing. So there's one guy like breakdancing, and it says like Paris 2024.
Yeah,
it was Paris, right?
Yeah.
Behind, and it's a guy on the floor breakdancing, and then it's the pee pants guy, like with the photo kind of turned so that it looks like he's like on his back breakdancing too.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's the best one. So anyway,
that's like that reminds me of the I don't even remember what it was. I couldn't even tell you, but the Bernie Sanders with the mittens on meme, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yeah.
Where it's just like they put, like, I saw one where it was like this guy like in a chokehold, and Bernie Sanders was the guy in the chokehold, but he was like in the same like mittens. Like it was just like, I love it when you can do a good meme and like perfectly place it into something, like just the swap of the photo itself. That's funny.
So I just had to update you on that. That's just hilarious. Just
I thought you found like another like. Oh, wait, maybe you did. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, another bottle win. That's what you thought was going to be, right?
Yeah.
No. There is one more event. It is on Tuesday.
What city?
I guess I should get this right, because this episode will come out Monday on the 16th, and then so the very last prize raffle is Tuesday the 17th. It is at the downtown location. It is at 4025 East Thunderbird Road. Get there at 8, drop your name in the raffle, and good luck.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe Patty was so lucky.
I can't believe it either.
Happy 20.
That's the one. Yeah. 20.
That's crazy. Good for her. Good for you.
They were like, "Do you want this for Christmas?" And I was like,
yeah.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Congrats on another good win.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Virginia's great. I love it.
I will always share with you.
No, yeah, that sounds good. And that's what we have today. So actually, here's the craziest thing. We mentioned last week how we got 2 bottles, right?
Right. Well, actually, did we?
I don't know if we did. So here's the craziest thing. Brian and myself only secured 5 bottles of BTAC, as far as I know. So like, here's how it goes. Here's what I mean by that, is that Sazerac sent us William Larue Weller. And I think we did mention this last week, but they sent us William Larue Weller, and it was the seal was broken, and it arrived half empty. And so I like reached out to Sazerac, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Can we like potentially get another sample of the William Larue Weller, because it is cracked. We don't really have too much to share between what is left. And she was, and the woman on the marketing side, she was like so sweet, and she was like, "Oh, I'll take care of it real quick." So within a week, we got a sample shipped out to us, or a box shipped out to us, and in that box was not only William Larue Weller, but was also Eagle Rare 17, which is amazing, because those were our top 2 choices we sent Sazerac.
Yep.
And then it turned out
huge shout out to Jalissa Chapman. Thank you so much, Jalissa.
I think it's Jalissa. Is it Jalissa?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, she knows.
Well, Jalissa. She might listen, and I have a feeling she will. So thank you so much. It's just gracious for you to send us another William Larue Weller, but it is beyond gracious for you to send us an extra bottle, and my favorite bottle of all time, and what started this whole journey for me. But then Brian happened to score 3 other bottles that were mutually, what do you call it? Mutually, what's the word I'm looking for?
Beneficial?
No, they are. It is the complete supplementary set now. Like
Oh,
there's
I got
completely
you.
supplementary to the 2
Complimentary?
bottles.
Yeah, yeah.
Not complimentary.
Oh.
Supplementary. No. It is
Oh.
complimentary. You're right.
Dude, I
It
don't
is the
know.
complement. Supplementary means like beyond the compliment.
Gotcha.
Complimentary means the full set altogether.
Nice.
Anyway, for those
We
of the
did it.
math people that are still hanging on this episode, yeah, we did it. So we got all 5 bottles. This hasn't happened since 2020 that we had all 5 bottles of the NT collection.
Those were all media samples, right?
They were, dude. Back in the day, it was easier.
Right.
That was when. Okay, another shout out to crap. I'm all over the place today. It's gonna hit me later. Our contact that used to be at Buffalo Trace, but now is doing like Jay Mattingly and a few other brands. Not Sarah Preston.
Amy Presky.
Amy Presky.
Yeah,
she's awesome. You remembered her name, nice.
Well, yeah, it's funny. I remembered her name when you said Jay Mattingly because I just that's my connection with her now.
Nice. Yeah, Amy's awesome. And not to say the new people at Sazerac aren't, but Amy and I we had a good thing going, and still do. Yeah, exactly. So let's take a break soon. Or no. How's my life? My life is good.
Anyone peed their pants over there in Virginia lately?
Only my daughter, my youngest. She pees her pants like every stinking day.
Well, I heard peeing your pants
is the coolest. Yeah. Consider my baby Miles Davis.
There you go. Yeah.
So yeah, life is good, work's good. I'm looking forward to the Christmas season. I mean, we're in the Christmas season. But I'm looking for the Christmas episode. I have 8, and I think I'll have 9 gifts. And you too, because I think one of the ones I got was for both of us.
Nice. Yeah, I have a pile of 7 here on my table. Okay. Literally arm's reach. So, I'm touching one right now.
Bryce Morita has sent his stuff.
Nice.
And then the one that I have is probably for both of us. So that puts me at, I have 8 now. You have 7, but that'll be split. So it'll be 9 total, which breaks the unlocks the both bottles. The Weller 12, was it?
Yes.
And the Curly H. Taylor Rye. So
all bonuses activated.
Yeah, all activated. So if you're not familiar, we do gifts every year, and we send them, we receive them. Gift giving is amazing.
And it's too late for you to send one in now.
It's too late at this point, unless you want to do a same day Amazon shipment to us. So
Right.
That's that. Yeah. I'm excited for besides the podcast gifts, I am excited to give gifts this year, whether it be to you or to my family or to people that I normally give gifts to. I love giving gifts. I try to think about them decently, and I try to put thought into them. So I'm excited.
Nice.
And that's that. So we got a big episode ahead of us.
Yeah.
Drink some good water, listeners, because we're going to be drinking 5 samples today. But before we get to those samples, we'll talk a little bit of history. But before we talk about history, we'll go to this quick break. And we're back from break. We took a walk. We had a good time. We poured a little bit more of the Buffalo Trace, what do you call them? Standards of Buffalo Trace and Eagle Rare.
The opposite of antique?
Newer?
Yeah, Buffalo Trace.
That's probably a good word. Newer collection, yeah. But modern. You can't spell BTAC without Buffalo Trace. So
Buffalo Trace Modern Collection. That'll be
modern. It's better than what did they call that one? The old Prohibition collection or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we decided an order of service today. This order is Sazerac 18 first. We'll leave it at that. We'll keep you guys on your toes. Oh, that's a beautiful bottle.
I know. It's going down already. Look at it.
I know. I got a Liquid Ministry bottle from Bryan.
Yeah.
Do you still have the oh, you poured good. Do you still have the thank you. The chill filtered ones? I'll have to send you some because I have a few more extra.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm absolutely certain I have that around here somewhere. Oh, you know what I did with that? You know how I do my reserve sample thing? Or I used to, at least. I don't really do that anymore. Now it's like I need to just drink all these. I need to not have like some library of old samples. But my original first BTACs, like when I got my very first George T. Stagg, I was putting those in the CF
nice
ministries. Yeah.
Nice.
I got a Saz cork pop for you. If you want to hear what a cork pop in New Orleans sounds like.
Ooh.
Kind of weak.
Okay. So I did mention I was going to give a little history, and I'm not going to give much at all. This is off my top of my head. So the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection has been around since 2001. They picked up a few bottles over the years, and right now they're up to 5. One that dropped off the list was Weller 19, for those who don't know. That's a fun one.
Wow.
No longer on the list, but it's been the static 5 for like 15 years, I want to say. It's been a while. But I still think Albert B. Blanton's is going to be the next on the list. It'll be the 6 bottle collection soon. But
nice.
They're prepping mash bill number 2 for that one. So
yeah, when I was picking my entry buzz, I had to make sure that I picked the right mash bill, because I was like, one of these mash bills is not in the BTAC line.
Oh, for sure. This smells so good.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So I'm doing a little Whiskey World News shout outs here as we go.
Okay.
I asked the audience here, what is the 2024 BTAC you're most interested in?
Oh, you mean trying? What whiskey would you choose shout outs?
Oh, did I say Whiskey World News?
Yeah, but it's all good.
Nice. Whiskey World News shout outs. Shout out to Jason Kilgore. Whatever.
Nino Kilgore Marchetti.
So anyway, we are drinking Saz now. Very first, the people who said that their most looked forward to 2024 BTAC was Saz are Sean Ciaro and Kilted 518.
Nice.
Miles Ferguson, thank you for writing in, and we are sipping this for you.
So the color, very dark for a 90 proof whiskey.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which is understandable when it's 18 years old.
Yeah, I think Saz 18 is my favorite BTAC just overall, of like, what do I prefer to drink? It's this. It's got such delicate notes going on here. And actually, recently I sipped some Saz that was the tanked batch from way back in the day. You remember?
Yep.
That one just was so fruity. But I'll tell you, the 2024 now, comparatively, it still has a lot of fruit, and it has a lot of a delicate, almost bubblegum fruit stuff. But it does have an extra layer of like tobacco leather that I don't remember getting from older Saz 18s.
And that's usually the standard for Saz 18 is delicate fruit. I'm talking like not strawberries. I'm talking about like strawberry syrup that you might put on like ice cream or something like that. I haven't sipped it yet, but that's usually what I get off Saz 18, which is gorgeous. Like actually, when Robbie and I did the 2020 lineup, we chose Saz 18 as the winner.
Awesome.
Because it was just beautifully delicate. Loved it that year. Oh, nice. So good smelling. I haven't even sipped it yet.
Yeah, I sipped it. The palate stays very consistent with the nose. You get very rich candy, fruity hard candy. But it's a mellow. It's almost like a little creamy too. That like I think the creaminess and the bubblegum ideas go hand in hand there.
Good bubblegum.
I know, yeah, definitely.
Not like some fake stuff. This is like the good stuff.
Definitely. But it does have, on the finish, there's a little too much there's a little too much wood influence for me, at least on maybe this year. Maybe this year's a little different, but there's a little bit. It almost gets into kind of a charcoaly territory. It almost gets a little chalky, dry charcoal towards the very, very end. It's not as the good stuff is like 90%, and my negative notes I'm saying now are like 10% maybe. It's like if I was trying to be a little critical about it, I'd say the finish isn't as sweet sugar fruit candy as I hoped it would be.
I agree with that. I actually think it's a little watery on the finish compared to prior Saz 18s I've had. That does not make this a bad whiskey. And one other thing I wanted to say is that we typically talk about hard candy rye when it comes to barrel proof ryes. This one is 90 proof, as most of us know, but this is definitely hard candy in a beautifully sweet way. And like I said, strawberries, light, delicate fruit. I wouldn't call this too appley. This is more light. I can't even get by strawberries. Like it's not raspberries, it's not blackberries, it's not too much apples. It is mostly strawberry syrup. But that being said, I remember the finish on prior batches that I've had lasting longer. This one lasts, but it kind of dies off with a wateriness, to be honest. I still love it. I drink this all the time if I could.
Yeah. I did have a little bit left. I put like 1 drop of water in it.
Okay.
If anything, it got a little more negative with the finish notes that I was talking about. That came out a little more. So just don't even try water.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh, amazing.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to do every pour with ice water this episode.
Yeah. We'll just do it if it strikes our
if it strikes our little ice fancy.
There you go. We moving on? Is that it? Any more thoughts on Saz 18? I tell you what, how about your memory of how much you love Saz 18? Is this legitimately doing it justice, or do you feel like your old Saz 18s maybe were a little better? Or
this is probably the least I've ever had. That being said, this is 9+ easily for me. Yeah,
nice.
But I think one of the things we should do this episode is rank all 5 of these for sure.
Love to.
Together against each other as opposed to prior batches.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, I mean, I'm one for always wanting to compare, different years and stuff. But I was like, if I start digging up a 2023 handy to compare against the 2024 handy, if I'd start down this road, I'm going to drink like 10 ounces of whiskey today, and that's just
have a hard time
going to end well for anybody.
Yeah. Let's move over to Thomas H. Handy.
We going barrel proof right now.
Yeah. So tell me about the stats on this, because I didn't look it up.
Stats?
The proof.
Oh yeah, I was like, you want to know like what barrel house is aged in and everything?
No.
I mean, I don't know.
So we usually know that Saz 18 or Thomas H. Handy Sazerac is 6.5 years at barrel proof. But I don't know the proof this year.
And I probably didn't write it on your bottle. So the proof this year is 127.2. Okay. And actually I say that, but like, let me make sure this is actually the 2024.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Because my 2022 is also similar fill levels. So let me just double check.
That's funny.
That's funny. The word proof in my Google search triggered all sorts of currency stuff.
Very different nose.
Yeah. 127.2. All right.
Okay, cool. Compared to Saz 18, this is a whole different beast on the nose. And it's not even that potent on the nose for me yet. Maybe I need to give it the old spin J. But no, I'm not getting alcohol at all on this, but I'm also not getting a lot of rye on this. I'm not getting a lot of anything, to be honest. On the nose,
there's very young grain, not too funky, but and it's almost like, man, like is this a weird Glencairn here? I might pour another little bit in another Glencairn just to average out my nose here, but it just kind of smells. I mean, after drinking something so delicate and pretty, from the Saz 18, like this is just all punch, nothing else.
Speaking of which, on the palate, I don't know. I got to go for another sip first. I don't want to judge this too hard, but I am. It's not living up to the BTAC so far as I've drank it.
Yeah. After this, when we pour the Eagle Rare 17, maybe we should pour all of them, the William Larue and the GTS, just so that they're sitting in their Glens for a while as we're going through Eagle Rare.
Not a bad idea. Or we should pour them all in the same glass. That's what I thought you were going to say.
It's like what's the suicide where you get every soda down the line? Yeah. Totally. I got to do a BTAC suicide. Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I am going to do that.
Uh-huh.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, this is very different than Thomas H. Handy's than I remember. This is yeah, this is interesting. It is not bad. I gotta admit, it is not bad. But it's not this bus of rye that I'm used to for Thomas H. Handy. This school bus of rye. Like this bus driver. Drop that cube.
Actually, this could be a ice contender, maybe. All I've done is nose so far, though. It's opening up on the nose a little. There is some. I'm getting more of like a pine tree note on the nose now. It's staying very, very, very herbal. I'm not getting nearly as much fruit as I would hope for, though.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a real good taste now. Just took some water. Just took that water. So the nose is still lackluster. And this is my complaint against 2021, where Harlan Wheatley said the George T. Stagg this year isn't living up to our standards for the BTAC. If your standards of the BTAC are this poor right here, then Stagg 2021 must have been trash. But we all know they're saving up for double George Very Stagg.
That's right. Yeah. I don't know. Stagg 22A is my favorite batch of all time. So maybe all that stuff went into batch 22A.
Could have. Yeah.
I'll say the palate really impressed me. I had my expectations set really low there because the nose wasn't jiving with me. The nose, it smelled very hot.
Yeah.
and piney. But when I took that sip, there was a decent amount of sugary sweet there. But there was plenty of herbal youthy grain heat for.
I wish I was getting that. I don't know why I'm not getting that. Give the old Spinjay again. There's a little bit of candy on the nose, but it's like really muted.
Yeah. Previous years of Handy, I do get prominent menthol.
Yeah.
Like a wintergreen or spearmint gum or something.
Yeah.
But this just the astringency, like the youthy ABV heat is my prominent note on this.
Yeah. It is. I hate to say it, but it's one of my least favorite BTACs that I've ever had. That being said, I don't know if this is 9.0 plus, but this is good. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's not bad. I'm just like, I got my expectations a little high, and this is I would give this like an 8.6, honestly.
I'm already thinking, to me, this is as good as it is bad, actually.
Yeah.
Which like if I even had my rating scale up right now, I'd be starting around C- and trying to work my way up from there. I think the negative attributes of this almost they might actually outweigh the positive attributes of this. Therefore, it gets the ice cube. There's an ice cube in my Glen now with the Thomas H. Handy. So the ice mellowed out. It's more on the earthy barnyard funk now with ice.
Gotta find the right cube.
Find the cube with THH stamped on it. Oh yeah, fire in the hole.
Fire in that hole. Yeah, the piece was too big. All right. Here we go. Ice pour.
Okay. The
a
ice.
little bit of menthol. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I almost feel like I shouldn't sour your opinion as you're sipping right now.
No.
Keyword being sour. Yeah, no. Okay, so
No.
the ice dulled the negative, but did not bring out any positive. So it's just
I don't even think it dulled the negative. I got a really bad finish on that. Like a youthy finish, which you wouldn't expect for a Buffalo Trace antique collection. A Bantique collection bottle. All right, moving on. On. You know what we got next?
Well, I sincerely hope that that's the worst.
Yes, of the beef bags. 100%. Have you had that one yet?
Yeah, I did. The night that I poured samples, I had a little sip myself. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I was like, "Oh no, what have I done?" A little bit. Yeah, got to do it for science. Yeah, let's go low to high proof now. Let's
high proof.
You know what?
I thought we were doing a low proof.
Let's go low to high. So let's do Eagle Rare, and then let's move
load up a high proof bourbon in my glass.
Load up. I tell you what, though, to get that Thomas H. Handy out, I'm gonna sip some Buffalo Trace for a sec. Oh, you know what? I forgot to give shout outs to all the people who wrote in to say that Thomas H. Handy was their most looked forward to BTAC of 2024. Yeah. Nobody. Absolutely nobody.
That's why Double George Very Stagg will be a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a conspiracy theory by the name of Double George Very Stagg. Trust me, it's gonna happen. I don't know if they'll call it that, but they're going to do that.
Did you see so in Discord, Colonel Hughes and I were writing messages to Nick for the next time Nick Taylor pops into our Discord to grace us with his presence.
Yeah.
And my question was, as far as names go, Triple Eagle Very North was my idea for a high altitude.
I like that.
Name. Yeah.
I like that.
Which is still not announced, by the way.
Yeah.
That is true. We thought they were going to announce the name around Monday or Tuesday last week.
Yeah,
but that did not
that's
happen.
What they said too. That's funny. All right. We poured Eagle Rare 17. My favorite pour. Not the best pour I've ever had. It's different. It's different, people. This is my favorite pour. Because it means a lot to me.
Did you entry buzz your way down a little bit from the Thomas H. Handy?
You mean like clear my palate?
Yeah, clear your palate with some Eagle Rare.
I took plain seltzer water, a lot of it.
Good.
Oh, but that nose.
And I'll tell you what, too. So I got the Eagle Rare poured. I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of the William Larue, and I'm gonna pour some GTS, so it's sitting there airing out, ready to go. I did make sure to fill your liquid ministry extra high.
No, you did great. Thank you.
Good.
Wait. For which one?
For all of them, right?
Including Eagle Rare 17?
No. I couldn't have done that one.
Yeah. No, I
can't take credit.
No, I actually weighed yours out. I weighed 50 milliliters for you, so we had it very even. Because it's hard to do with a 100 ml sample in a 2 ounce sample share.
Definitely.
But
I will say the little Boston round was more full than I expected.
Good.
Like I can't believe the level to which it was filled was 50 mils because it looked.
I think they poured a little extra. I don't think it was I think it was more than 100 mils that they. That doesn't make sense because I poured you 50 mils. So that whatever.
Yeah, still. So hence my disbelief, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so I got everything poured now, so I can breathe. But I'm ready.
Real quick.
I'm ready for.
Fun story. You notice something special about my William Larue Weller sample?
No, here's mine.
Yeah, yours is empty. Mine is half full.
Oh, you get to enjoy that at your leisure.
I haven't poured yet. Take a guess. I didn't drink it ahead of time.
Oh, is that what you're trying to say?
Yes. Wait, no. That's not what I'm trying to say. I poured some out for a homie. Maybe my secret sampler buddy.
Oh my gosh.
But he's going to, I guess I gave it away.
That's exciting. Speaking of secret
sampler, it was one of his dream pours. So I was like, hey, I don't need a whole 100 mils. Let's share
Love
it. Yeah. It's not like I'm selling it or anything.
I'm curious now. I'm pulling up the old secret sampler spreadsheet here to see
I think they'll like it.
So I pulled some strings, let me tell you.
Yeah.
My secret sampler is getting some stuff.
Your gifty?
Yeah.
That's cool. No, yeah. I believe it. Oh, speaking of which, you helped me get a Willett Family Estate rye at a 7-year.
You tried that?
Good. It was
good.
It was on the verge of great, but it was nowhere near the one I had in 2015. Like nowhere near. But it was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
And the one that you got was 6 years, 7 year?
No, it was 7 years as well. It was 111-ish proof. The one I had prior was 119 proof.
Okay.
But older Willett Family Estates are usually, from what I've remembered, are much better.
Gotcha.
But it was it worth $200? No, it was worth 120 easily.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
But it was still worth trying. It's not something I regret. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Have you nosed this, sir?
Yes. Okay. This is everything I love in the nose. If every whiskey could smell like this, let me actually compare this to the Eagle Rare 10, though.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
Yeah, it's better than the Eagle Rare 10. And Eagle Rare 10 is a great nose to me. It is like if every whiskey could smell this good, I would be buying every whiskey every day. That's probably not a great analogy. Okay, so on the nose is a creamy cherryness, a creamy appliness.
I do
it
even
is
get
beautifully sweet. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I straight up interrupted you, but to add on to your cherry note, I do get a little like chocolate too, like chocolate covered cherries. I don't get a lot of chocolate, but it's more of a memory of chocolate. Like when I bite into those chocolate cherry deals, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Like that is what is hitting my nose right now and evoking those memories.
Yeah. Great nose. Let's see if the 101 proof palate can keep up with the nose.
Yeah. And I even nosing this now and trying to remember how I felt about the Saz 18 nose that I raved about, I might even like the Eagle Rare 17 nose more than the Saz 18 nose, because it's just everything that whiskey is supposed to be.
This palate keeps up, bro. Like, have you had this yet? You haven't had this yet. This is your first sip of Eagle Rare 17. You have? Oh, with Bryan, with the baller himself.
I know. Yeah. This
is amazing.
Only one I haven't had is the William Larue, but I've had the 24 of all the other ones, and
this is good.
Yeah, it's good.
This is good.
And by the way, since we're eating Eagle Rare 17 now, so we got a write in from Madtown marketer Ben Klepsig, and so Kilted 518 Miles Ferguson was kind of half and half here on the Saz 18 and the William Larue. So shout out again to Miles Ferguson here and Ben Klepsig. We are drinking this for you.
Miles,
love you.
Remind me, have I ever shared Eagle Rare 17 with you? I think I have when I had that 2015 bottle. Maybe I haven't, but I remember sharing 4 grain with him once. And his wife, Patricia, could call it out on some good notes on that one. Yeah, this I loved Saz 18. This is a step up from Saz 18.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-Saz myself a little bit here, because I think if we're trying to rank these to determine which one we like better, this is absolutely neck and neck for me.
Oh, really? No. This has got a little more oomph for me.
Nice.
And here's the thing. I actually am a huge fan of pre-101 proof Eagle Rare 17s. The 90 proofers were amazing to me. I mean, the first one that blew my mind was 2014. And then I got a bottle of 2015. And those both were just like pure ecstasy in the palate, like just so good. And then the first year they did the 101 proof, I was a little let down. And I don't know what other ones I've had since then, but I've had at least one other 101 proof Eagle Rare 17. Oh, it was last year. It was Brian Duncan sent me some. And it was great. Don't get me wrong. It was great, but it wasn't as good as the 90 proofers. This one is the best the 101 proof Eagle Rare I've ever had of the 17 year. This is great. Like, so everything I remember about Eagle Rare 17 is here.
Nice. Your 2014 Eagle Rare is 90 proof. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah, they changed it around like 2020 or 2021.
Because when Brian and I were sipping some of these the other night, I was like, man, like this makes me super interested to try a 90 proof Eagle Rare 17.
One day it's going to happen, bro. One day I'll share with you the 2014.
I'll keep hanging in there, I guess.
Yeah. Actually, on the Christmas episode, I'm going to entry buzz with a Fondia bottle. And by that, I mean fear of never drinking it again bottle. That'll be one of my planting straight from the barrels.
I was going to ask.
Holding on to for years. Yeah.
If it would require you to open
I'll open it on the bottle. I mean, on the episode. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Love to hear it.
Yeah. I'm trying to break past that, but it's hard to open a 2014 bottle of Eagle Rare 17 or a 2016 bottle of E.H. Taylor Seasoned Wood. It's hard to open bottles like that, but I'm going to do it. There's no way I'm like somehow not drinking that bottle unless I die tomorrow. See, but maybe I should just drink it today because I might die tomorrow.
100%. That's why I open all my bottles, man. Mm-hmm. I open all my bottles because I could have some blood work done tomorrow. And my doctor says you're not allowed to drink whiskey anymore. And then I'm like, crap.
I would have died drinking the whiskey. I'd be like, suck it, doctor.
So I'll tell you, I get it for the Seasoned Wood because it was a one-off special thing. Yeah, but the Eagle Rare, though, I mean, Eagle Rare, okay, not all Eagle Rare is Eagle Rare, yes. Yeah. But like still, though, it's not as one-off as the Seasoned Wood.
It's true. So. But it is. So what it represents to me, which we've talked about before, is the first whiskey that ever blew my mind was the 2014 vintage of Eagle Rare 17. So it's special, but it's not. You're right. It's not that special. Like there's plenty of 90 proof Eagle Rare 17s in the 18 to 19 year range. That being said, I want to talk about some notes about this because I've talked about how much I'm gushing over it, but I haven't talked about what makes it so special. It's bold in flavor compared to especially Eagle Rare 10, which I love Eagle Rare 10. There is apple pie notes. There is cherry notes, just the standard notes that I truly love with a passion. But it's just so well developed. Almost that creaminess we were talking about on the nose, still there on the palate. But it is a potent mixture of those things. I'm not talking about barrel proof potent. I'm just talking about it is not lacking. It is not watery. It is there. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally agree. You said apple pie and it blew my mind because I was sitting here thinking that I was on the baking spice train. And I was thinking baking spices, caramel, the amount of oak in here is just like perfect. Yeah. And I'm definitely more apple than cherry on this one. Totally agree with the apple notes being super present here. Super delicious. I did add a couple drops of water.
Better, worse?
No, worse. Okay. It brought out more of the tannins. It brought out more wood presence, and it didn't need that at all. So
that's good.
Water worse. Yeah.
So tiebreaker. Saz 18, Eagle Rare 17. What's the verdict?
Well, I will. I'll withhold judgment till the end.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. But I put my cards on the table already, so we'll see how William Larue and George T each turn out.
Yeah, sounds good.
You ready to move on?
Yes, I am.
All right. Will you say William next?
Yeah, let's go. William Larue Weller, and We got some write-ins here from Whiskey Shaman, Dramhound, and Paul Clarkson, my Secret Santa last year.
Nice.
They all wrote in and said William Larue Weller was their most anticipated try of 2024. So this one's for you.
You know who else said William Larue Weller is going to be the best pour, or is going to be the favorite? Buffalo Trace themselves said this year the prominent one is going to be William Larue Weller.
Oh yeah, and by the way, the vote, because you said Eagle Rare 17 and I said William Larue Weller,
and you won.
The vote between our two choices ended up skewing just barely in favor of
close.
William Larue Weller.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, honestly, people don't always love. Well, actually, it goes both ways. Like, people don't always love one or the other. In fact, the 2015 William Larue Weller was very earthy to me. But then again, the 2021 was honestly top 10, if not top 5 I've ever drank in my whole life. And shout out to Brian Duncan, who shared that pour and is now his favorite pour of all time.
Yeah, definitely.
Did he find another bottle yet?
He has. He's working on it, and when Brian Duncan's working on something, it's going to happen. Yeah. So it's inevitable. Yeah,
it was like, if there's, like, we talk about on our rating scale, we talk about there's A+ bottles, and then we talk about there's like A++ bottles. That was an A++ bottle.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And so let's see if they can keep up this year. So far, the nose is great.
Well, tell me why the nose is great.
What's that? So
far the nose is great. What you got? Because I'll tell you,
I don't know, actually.
For me, it's hitting me on the same confused level as
Thomas H. Handy.
As the Thomas H. Handy.
Yeah. It is better than the Thomas H. Handy on the nose, as far as I can tell, because it is a little more fruity.
I totally agree. Yeah, totally agree.
But it is a little lacking on the nose, which is crazy. You think about like like some of the big reviewers, they review on palate, nose, and finish, and then some other, like for example, Jim Murray, he gives a 100-point scale. He gives 25 points for nose, 25 points for palate, 25 points for finish, and then he gives 25 points to like just other things about it. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that's what it is, but maybe John Hughes is like, he uses another factor. But John Hughes is a very reasonable man. But the cool thing is that like certain bottles really nail it on all levels, but certain bottles like completely nail it on the palate and maybe just the finish, but the nose is lacking. We'll see how this goes. It might follow the nose, but this nose is not a 25 out of 25 for me. This nose is like a 20 out of 25 for me. Nah, not even that. This might be like an 18. So no, it's good. It's fruity.
It's fruity. I totally agree. You get me on the fruity here, but it's almost like, this is going to sound ridiculous, but it smells so syrupy that like I don't even know what kind of syrup I'm smelling right now. Like fortunately, it's not about proofy ABV stuff with this. There is a concentration of flavors here that I can't even figure out what the flavors is because it's so syrupy.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But when I took a sip, I'll say on the landing, just immediately, it did impress me with an amount of sweetness that it had.
Yeah.
And it was a sweet, concentrated fruit kind of flavor. Yeah. Maybe cherry, a little apricot, kind of more of a dried fruit than a ripe, juicy fruit.
Yeah.
But the finish kind of just trailed off. It didn't really get better. It didn't really like evolve for me.
Yeah.
And I'm left with just a big question mark above my head.
So not sadly, this is a great pour. I would say this is a 9+ pour.
Yeah.
That being said, I, in a way, am about at that level. Like, it's like, this is good, but I'm hoping for better. But I'm also, in a way, comparing this to the 2021, which I recently had. And if I may compare this to 2021, this is great, but 2021 transcended whiskey. Like, that's how good 2021 was. It just like to quote Keegan-Michael Key in Mad TV days, it brought it to a whole nother level. This is on the verge of great. I love the fruitiness on the palate, but it's just not transcending the normal whiskey. Not the normal. This excels. This excels. This is not better. I mean, this is better than Eagle Rare 10, which, to be honest, is a 9.0 at least for me. Is Eagle Rare 10. But let me compare this real quick. Let me take one more sip. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna pour a little more. Fortunately, I have an ounce and a half left. The intensity of this is just off the charts. It's like it's strangling me. It's keeping me from figuring out, like, it's keeping me from dissecting individual tasting notes. But I do get some deep, maybe like black cherry. Actually, the more I think about it, the more I really like the idea of black cherry here. But there's plenty of caramely, like dark sugars too, that I was getting more of a carameliness on the nose after I sipped it and I went back to the nose. I was getting deep, dark caramel. You know what? It's like if you were caramelizing something in a pan, but you burnt it and let it go too long. That's where I'm at.
So I hate to show my cards again, but I did just drink this right next to Eagle Rare 17, and Eagle Rare 17 easily is the winner. Like, easily. This is good. You pull out those weedy notes. This reminds me of a better than average or better than Weller Full Proof, which makes sense. What's the proof on this, William Larue, again?
You will have to tell me.
I know that.
Wait,
I have the
it's
bottle
on my
right
sample bottle.
125.8.
Nice.
Not the highest of the William Larue Wellers, but a decent proof. This is, it's got those weedy, like, it is. Don't get me wrong, people. If you find yourself a bottle of William Larue Weller 2024, buy it, especially at retail or like close to retail. If you could buy this, I would buy that. I would throw down for this. I would throw $300 down for this. Happily. Part of that, a little bit of that, is just the fact that it's BTAC. But part of that's just like, no, this is a great pour. Don't get me wrong. This is a great pour. Eagle Rare surpasses this for me this year. Eagle Rare 17, just to be clear. But this is, it's got decent caramel notes. It's got decent weeded bourbon notes. A little bit, tiniest bit, actually. I like this note. A little bit of green apples.
Okay.
Not overwhelmingly green apples. Yeah.
Don't take a sip. Oh, close one. Close one.
It was close.
Water. This is worth water.
Okay.
Yeah. Add water.
Pulling out my dropper.
While you add water, I'm gonna add ice, because the adding water to this actually really impressed me.
Okay.
Water really thinned out the intensity, and it brought out more of a dry oak, and it brought out more tobacco, kind of like a sweet, sugary tobacco.
The nose is bringing out tobacco.
Yeah. So I actually, with as questionable as the palate was, though, on the neat,
you're right.
With
this is a lot better with water.
As the neat palate was, the water really brought out a lot of just dissectable notes. You were able to actually discern tobacco and things. Point. Made it a lot more fun.
Ooh, that green apple note shows up even more with a few drops of water. Yes. So, listeners, viewers, if you happen to find yourself a bottle of Willie Larue of 2024 vintage, drops of water, do improve this. And I hate those. I hate to say it to those people that are diehard neat fans.
Purists.
Try it. Just try it. Yeah, the purist, which I used to be. Don't get me wrong. I used to be a purist. I used to say, why add to what was already set aside for me from the master distiller themselves? No. This is better with ice. So, with water. So you drinking ice right now? Okay, he's drinking ice right now. Is it better than water?
Not in the slightest. Okay. Actually, water. Yeah, it is water neat ice, actually, because all ice did was make it bitter. Just super bitter with ice.
Ooh, it's great with water. Great with water. Yeah. But let's find out. Is it better than Eagle Rare 17? I already know it's not. I just took a nose of the Eagle Rare 17, and I already know it's not.
I could even
on the table, people.
I could even hear you like slam that down.
You're nope. Like, all right, judgment already decided. Yeah. All right, we got one more pour, listeners, viewers, and that is George friggin' T. Stagg. I'm gonna cut my palate with some seltzer water, plain variety.
I cut my palate with a little Saz 18. That's the one that I keep going back to. Yeah.
Oh, let me go back to that real quick. Nice. Ooh, dude, great nose.
Wow. Though I will say the water. I can't remember the last time adding water changed something so favorable for me. That William Larue with water is so much better. So much better.
We tried something over the past year that was like, holy cow, this is so much better with water, but I forget what it was. Okay, I got to go back to Euro 17 again.
Can you imagine if, I get it. They can't release a William Larue Weller proof down. They can't not say that it's uncut, unfiltered, assuming that they explicitly say that. But if I think it's hilarious, the idea that the master distiller is like, guys, it's so much better at like 118 proof, and they're like,
it's a barrel proof product.
Yeah, I know. They're like, we literally can't. Like, we would have to get a new label approved by the TCB.
Yeah, exactly. All right, maybe that's why it took so long this year to announce, because they were trying to and they gave up.
Yeah, well, with as long as it took to get a label approved by the TTB on the E.H. Taylor barrel proof rye, they'd be it's like in 2026 they're like, this is the 2024 William Larue Weller.
yeah exactly. And the laser code would still say 2022 or whatever.
Yeah. Right. All right, are you GTSing?
Not yet. I'm actually comparing Saz 18 and Eagle Rare 17 again.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Let's go back to GTS. We'll go back to this seltzer.
Maybe I should pour a little more Buffalo Trace here. Yeah, I'm doing it.
GTS, baby. Barrel proof. Mash bill number 1. Give me those Jeets on the deets of GTS. What's the proof?
All right, we got a GTS here right in front of the camera. Oh God, it's glorious. It is 136.1, and I looked this up last night. Pretty sure I remember that it is 15 years, 4 months.
Okay, cool. I was
136.1.
Okay.
And I've got a Buffalo Trace in my hand right here that I'm nosing. Oh God, it's good.
All right. Yeah. Let's see.
You looking up some facts over there? What's going on?
Yeah, it's 15 years is this year's GTS. 15 years, 2 months, as you mentioned.
2. Okay. I thought it was 4. I couldn't remember.
Oh, I thought you said 2. And these days, for the record, listener, viewer, if it's not already sold out of every single market at retail for all these bottles is $150.
Oh, is it? I thought it was $180 this year.
Nope, $150.
What? I guess I'm crazy. All right. Because it was $120, I think, last year, and it went up. Okay, all right.
Yeah, inflation. Am I right? Speaking of inflation, you ever heard of shrinkflation, Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we recently got a bottle for our drink-alongs of Maker's Mark Lost Recipe, something like that. And it was only 700 milliliters.
Yeah.
And we found out the hard way. Luckily, we had some extra. But we found out the hard way that we need to buy 3 bottles these days of drink-along samples.
Thanks to all our patrons,
Dude,
patrons. Tequila
Patrons. Yeah. We should just go from there.
Yeah.
All right. Nose on GTS. Haven't nosed it yet. Beautiful.
Maximum intensity on the nose, as you would expect from George T.
So
Stagg.
Are you getting an overwhelmingness of alcohol?
No,
just flavor?
Actually.
Yeah, I am not either. Yeah.
I am getting a decent amount of alcohol, but it is matched with like tobacco. Totally. I mean, if there was a deep dark whiskey, this is the deep dark whiskey.
Yeah. I love George T. Stagg. 2016, top five whiskey.
Is that the 144?
It's the 144.1. It was, and it's not the proof. It was the flavor that sold me.
Really?
It was pure apple pie.
Oh man,
it was incredible. And it's hard to find a hazmat Stagg these days, or hazmat George T these days. But 2016 was just how much did you? I think you've looked that up. How much do you think that one runs for on secondary?
Not as much as you might think.
Is it over 2?
I don't think it's over 2 anymore. Actually, yeah,
dude. Bourbon boom is ending.
Pretty sure it's 16 to 1800, maybe.
You say?
Yeah. Don't look at me like that. Yeah. There are.
I don't like the secondary, but certain things.
I know, right? Yeah, yeah. It's either pay secondary for it or go back in time. So you pick which one you'd like to do.
Yeah, whatever you can pull off, do. Brian, national number 1. What are the 2 options of BTAC?
What? Oh,
what
thank you, George T. Stagg and
options.
Eagle Rare 17.
Nose wise, which one is better?
Eagle Rare 17 by miles.
I agree. Yeah. But we'll see.
Now we'll see.
Might change everything.
Because and also, intensity wise, we saved this one till the end. Intensity wise, but I can almost guarantee I'm adding water to this to see what happens, and I'm adding ice to this to see what happens. Hopefully to cut down that intensity, bring the nose back to a Eagle Rare 17 kind of nose. But so Cole is rocking back and forth in his chair right now, and this is why I purposefully set George T. Stagg as our last pour of the day here.
So I talked about this note already today, and usually this note represents, not today, but other years, other vintages, William Larue Weller. I mentioned earlier that the 2020 or 2015 William Larue Weller was earthy. When I talk about earthy, I mean soily, grassy, dirt. And it's not always a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. Earthy is not a bad thing. Sometimes they can overdo it. I am getting earthy on this Stagg.
Yeah.
Grassy, even. Like fresh cut grass.
Okay. The only way I can go grassy with you is if it's like grass blended with caramel.
Really? I gotta take a second sip.
It's not particularly herbal for me. So like the grass isn't like a fresh grass or anything like
it's
that.
Herbal.
Because it's mixed with so much more for me in the brown sugar caramel territory. No. I will say there is a lot about this that is dusty, musty. I get behind a little bit of that. Super dusty, musty whiskey for me, both on the nose and on the palate. Because I don't think I gave any real like nose notes. Yeah. But this has a very, very old. This, some people say like leather books, like a old library feel.
Leather books is a great note.
This is even beyond that for me. Yeah. This is like literally disintegrating books.
Really?
Like this is like apocalyptic future books in a library sitting for 400 years. And like when you pull it off the shelf, like disintegrating paper powder comes out. That's what this is for me.
let's be real. If people find
that
this
wasn't real, what are you talking about?
No, that was real. Let's continue to be real. If this was on the shelf, good or bad, at retail, everyone would buy it. Everyone that knows what they're doing would buy it. I really like that leather note. At least I really like that you call that out, because I do agree. I 100% agree. It's a very earthy, leathery note, but that's not what I'm looking for in a George T. Stagg. I am looking for apple pie, like grandma's about to punch you in the face with an apple pie.
God, I love when grandma
like I said, 2016. Yeah. 2016, 144.1, the highest velocity apple pie you ever got to the face. This is not that. This is much more earthy than it is appley. But it is good. I think this is good. But I have already formulated my ranking of the BTAC 2024. Have you?
I'll take a minute to think about that, because I'm currently thinking about velocities of apple pies. And
be careful. You can get hit fast.
I know, right? And also getting punched in the face by grandma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which is an experience unto itself. But
yes.
So I'm so glad that you said pie again, apple pies, because that's totally what this is. But this is like, I was carrying an apple pie into grandma's house. I tripped and fell, and it fell in the dirt driveway, and I was like,
picked it up and told
and I was like Kevin from The Office, who dropped his chili. I took a folder and I was scooping the apple pie back in from the driveway, and then grandma punched me in the face on my way in the door because I dropped the apple pie.
It's a whole story.
That's exactly what this whiskey is.
All right. I like it, but we'll see how the ranking goes. This is actually a really good spread this year. Of like, we don't always get to try every BTAC bottle on the podcast, but it is a decent, evenly distributed, probably uniformly distributed spread. There's an obvious winner for me this year, and most people have probably already guessed it. I don't know about Brian, but there's an obvious loser too. But there's like evenly spread throughout. But I do
before you continue,
Stagg. Go ahead.
Before you continue, oh my gosh, I poured George T. Stagg in this Glencairn, and then I took my George T. Stagg stopper and I went to like put it on my Glencairn.
Dude, I have sniffed my microphone before, thinking this is the nose I'm getting from the pour I'm getting right now. So
there's been worse. You know that I've had too much to drink when I sniff my water. I will swirl my water, and then I'll sniff it, and I'll be like, yep. That's water. I do
as
have
long
to
as you have a calibration method.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I in addition to my water palate calibration, I need to calibrate my water nose. Yeah, that's great. I do have to shout out the GTS people who were most interested, most excited for trying the 2024 GTS. Is Whiskey Drinking Panda. We got Marco and AZ,
Joey
and
T.
Jeff Moses 28.
Hey, new write-in.
I know. So those three guys here are looking forward to GTS the most, and this one was for you. Thank you very much for writing it.
Shout out. All right. I have my ranking.
Yeah, I have my ranking too. And, I would love for you to go through your ranking first while I put an ice cube in this GTS.
Oh yeah, I'll do a little water in the GTS while we're waiting.
I did a little water in the GTS, and I did smack my microphone. I hope that didn't make a loud noise.
No,
but the water in the GTS, it made it just less. It made it less hot, made it less of a bitter experience. It brought out some oak, some sweet oak. It's a very tannic whiskey, even with water and without water. It had that mouth moisture wicking property, you know, but the water just made everything a little more pleasant with the GTS.
Okay.
That being said, I don't think I necessarily liked the water more because when I drink GTS, I want it to kick me in the face.
Gotta get a punch from grandma.
A grandma punch when I drink GTS. So I think I'm neat and then water, and I'm about to try ice.
So I will go through my ranking. I'm not going to go through every score today. These are all great bottles. Well, 4 of them are. But I am very proud to say, well, I'll wait for that. I'll give that score or give that ranking in the end. So last place, obviously, was Thomas H. Handy. Yeah. Subpar, beyond subpar BTAC. Like, and this is why I believe in Double George Very Stagg. Mark my words. It might not be called that, but they did not pull out 2021 George T. Stagg because it was subpar BTAC. No. This is subpar BTAC. This is the worst BTAC I've ever had. And I've had a lot of BTAC in my day. People, listen to me.
That is a YouTube title right there. The worst BTAC ever?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah. And I'll be like, that's pure thumbnail right there.
For sure.
So obviously, to me, Thomas H. Handy's in last. In second to last place is William Larue Weller. Surprisingly, especially that Buffalo Trace themselves, Harlan Wheatley himself said this is the standout of the year for 2024 BTAC. On the nose, it is lackluster. On the palate, it is still lackluster, even though it brings out some notes of good wheated bourbon. It is like, if I were to give, I'm actually going to change my score, and I'm just going to do numerical score today, just because I'm a little more familiar with that. Numerical score for Thomas H. Handy is like an 8.1. Not great.
Yeah.
And low for the Cole Sebald chill filtered scoring. 8.1 on Thomas H. Handy. William Larue is like 8.8. It is really below what I'd expect from BTAC. Still good. 8.8 is worth buying. Don't get me wrong. And here's the other thing, is that with water, William Larue Weller did improve. And that's where it put me about the same level of the George T. Stagg. George T. Stagg was number 3 on the list, which is funny. All the barrel proof BTACs were last place for me, or like 3rd through 5th place. And that's why I believe in the 90 proof Eagle Rare 17. But anyway, we'll get there when we get there. George T. Stagg did stand a little bit above the William Larue Weller. I was pretty close on the neat pour George T. Stagg versus the water pour William Larue Weller. It was very close. And we try to judge on this podcast of the best pour, not the overall pour. We try to say, hey, what was the best pour? How do I rank that towards the others? It was very close. That being said, George T. Stagg did have a little bit more oomph on the flavor and the palate. It was close. It was pretty close. I would say this is also at 8.8, 8.9 on the George T. Stagg. Moving over to our runner-up for 2024 BTAC. It was close. It actually was, because I actually had to go back and forth between Eagle Rare and Sazerac 18. And like I said, it was, I mean, I mentioned earlier it was a uniform distribution. It wasn't so uniform. These were really close. But in the end, I have to say, second place goes to Saz 18. First place goes to Eagle Rare 17.
Wow.
Yeah,
how dare you?
Do think that Saz 18 is phenomenal. In comparison to other years, not as good, but still that beautiful hard candy, that well matured age shows up on Saz 18. I mean, it is notable for Saz 18. But this year's Eagle Rare 17 was just a standout. Like this was truly the baller of the year in terms of pours. Like this was the finish, the palate, the nose, all amazing. Eagle Rare 17 is the winner, and I'd give it a score of 9.4 here. Yeah,
I'd give it a score of 8.4.
No, 9.4. Yeah, and I'm gonna sip it right now.
Nice, I love it. So yeah, I'm just gonna give you my rank, just bottom to top here. So Thomas H. Handy.
Okay.
William Larue Weller.
Same.
Bill Larue Weller.
William Larue.
Billion. Okay, so next, Eagle Rare 17.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2, GTS.
Oh, Saz 18, baby.
Saz 18. Saz 18 for me just has the most going on.
Okay.
Saz 18 is an experience throughout the sip.
Yeah.
Now, GTS, down to my number 2, is impressive.
Yeah.
The way that it grips you, the way that it punches you in the face like grandma used to do, it is just an experience. And the finish hangs in for so long, but it's more of a proofy, got you by the throat experience, which is it's delicious. It's good.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. It is good.
Easy number 2 for me. Eagle Rare 17 was number 3 because it just it has everything. It's everything bourbon's supposed to be, but it's not as much of an experience. It didn't take me on a journey like Saz 18 did. It didn't punch me in the face like grandma used to. It was just like super average. It is the Mario of Mario Kart. It does everything across the middle of the board. It just did everything perfectly. So that's why Eagle Rare 17 was the middle vote for me.
All right.
William Larue Weller was like number 4. It was just like earthy. There were questionable things about it. It needed water in order to actually be good.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Handy bottom was just like, it was just hot. It was just weird. It was not BTAC.
Yeah. No, that's good. I appreciate that. What would you rank or rate Saz 18?
Oh, Saz 18 is A+, like no doubt.
Numerical score?
9. I don't want to go over 9.5. 9.5, I'm not sure I've ever given anything over 9.5. 9.5 is like
it's hard
absolute
to beat.
Pinnacle territory. It's probably, I've given Found North like 9.2 to 9.4. I think this is 9.2, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8, 3. That's where Saz 18 is. Yeah.
And before we get to, so we're gonna skip Whiskey World News today because we're going a little long. But we're gonna get to what whiskey would you choose? But before we get to what whiskey would you choose, we're gonna take auditions for the replacement of Bryan this next year. No, I'm kidding. Yes, he didn't choose Eagle Rare 17.
I love it.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But no, I respect that. I respect that you didn't agree with me. And that's the thing is like, for me, in a way, I might be even skewed. Maybe not, but I might be even skewed by my love for the pour of Eagle Rare 17.
Obviously, how dare I have my own opinion?
Yeah,
obviously.
Exactly. Screw you, man. No, I'm kidding.
I love it.
No, I'm joking. No, I love that. Love that. And I actually really do love that because I don't want a yes man. I don't want a flatterer.
I know, right?
A person that knows whiskey and is willing to give their good opinion.
For sure.
But so of course, we'll keep them this week, everyone.
Yes. As Cole said, we are skipping Whiskey World News. None of that this week, but we will ask you one quick question before we close out. We will ask you, what your holiday cocktail is. What are you
Yeah.
drinking for the holidays? Yeah, I don't want to know what particular whiskey you're drinking a neat pour this holiday. I want to know, what are you whipping up for the fam who's maybe not a whiskey fan. I want to know if you're making some fun holiday fruity cocktail, or if you're making some special kind of old fashioned, or maybe mixing in some whiskey with some eggnog. How do you make your
Doesn't
eggnog?
necessarily need to be whiskey either. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me what you're drinking this Christmas season. I want to
Yeah.
know what your delicious Christmas cocktail is.
Totally. Yes. What is? You tell me. Do you know yours?
Oh, of course. I have to give my own.
Okay.
Yes, my own is a cranberry. What is the rosemary? There it is.
Oh,
Cranberry,
plenty of that in Arizona.
Cranberry rosemary whiskey sour.
Okay, so you just like add a sprig of rosemary and a little bit of cranberries?
For sure. Or if you wanted to go all out, you could actually steep some rosemary in your simple syrup that you're making. So you make like a rosemary simple syrup. That would be good.
Do you have any rosemary on your premises?
I don't, but my neighbor does, and she's always like, if you need any rosemary, just clip them off.
Dude, we had 3 or 4 bushes in my Gilbert home when we lived there. And I would try to pluck from the back so that if any dog was peeing on the rosemary bush, that we would grab the other side of the bush, but we would always wash it before we used it.
So your cocktail of choice is not a dog pee rosemary cranberry.
Don't discount me. That is truly my favorite holiday pour.
Very good.
Kidding. But no. I would say, I'm gonna keep it simple here. I need something depthful. I need some strong. And I'm okay. So I'm gonna say an old fashioned, and you could write this down as the answer. But I'm gonna say a whiskey forward old fashioned for my holiday cocktail.
Of course,
it's not gonna be like a Wisconsin old fashioned. Don't get me wrong. I love you, Wisconsin.
Remind me,
we're not messing around with brandy here.
They put brandy in it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's the standard old fashioned in Wisconsin is Sprite heavy. What's the brand of brandy? It's like Corbel brandy, which is like, to be honest, is not the highest quality brandy. Corbel brandy, Sprite heavy, old fashioned is kind of the standard in Wisconsin, which I love. Wisconsin. Actually, we're very much leaning towards a 2025 meetup in Madison, Wisconsin. That being said, yes, they're not.
That being said, yes, at least they don't blend cheese into their old fashions.
Yes, which might actually be good in certain old fashions, but no, they don't do old fashions great in the state of Wisconsin, in my opinion. I love Wisconsin. You can smell that dairy air no matter where you go. So, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. So next week, what are we drinking, Brian?
Next week, what are we drinking next week? We are drinking.
What episode is it, first of all?
337?
337. No. What does that mean? I don't even know. Oh, yes. 338 will be our next episode. But what is special about episode 338?
Thank you for making that clear. I've had a bit to drink. We are doing the Christmas episode next episode. That is why it is too late for you to send in Christmas gifts.
Too late. Unless you send it over or same day Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah, send it same day. Otherwise, you're out because we are opening up gifts from everybody that we sent in here. I got a pile here to my left. It looks glorious. I cannot wait to dig in, but we will be opening everything. We'll be opening gifts from each other as well. Yeah. We'll be sipping some excellent whiskey, which Cole will tell you about right now.
Yeah. So I have a few samples in front of me. I have one of a 10-year variety called Old Rip.
Oh, interesting.
Van Winkle. I have something else of the 13-year variety called Van Winkle Family Reserve. Or no, what is it called?
Interesting.
Van Winkle, Family Reserve Rye.
Huh.
13-year. Amazing. It doesn't stop there, listeners. I have something called Pappy Van Winkle 15-year in front of me right here. That's special.
Did you say Patty or Pappy?
Patty Mathwig Van Winkle 13-year.
Patty 15.
Pappy 15. That's right. And it doesn't stop there, listeners. It doesn't stop there. We will be drinking Pappy 20 as well. So we will be drinking 4 pours, almost like today. Or is that 4 or 5? So we have, 4 pours. We're going to be drinking Van Winkle next week. That is the 12-year. Everything but the 12 and 23. We have the 10, 13-year rye, 15-year bourbon, 20-year bourbon. It's going to be dope. How do we get those? Don't ask.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Ask Patty.
Ask Patty Mathwig. Shout out to her. So that's great. I'm excited. So anything else we need to talk about before next week?
I just want to know what you're hoping, Cole. I hope that everyone who wanted to send in gifts already, because the deadline is over.
It's gonna be dope. I felt one yesterday, and it felt like a hat. That's all I'm gonna say.
I felt the hat one too. I totally felt the hat one too. Like it was like, thanks Amazon. Like Amazon sent a hat in a bag. When I literally picked it up, I was like, this was a hat.
But I actually think that Paul Clarkson. Here's my prediction: is that Paul Clarkson and Ben Klepsig are going to fight it out next week. Like, fist fight it out next week.
You think so? Because I remember
Paul brought
Max
it last year, but Max, Ben was like, "I'm going for the win this year."
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And Max, who knows? Yeah,
he said he was gunning for the best gift. We have had 3 people write in and say they're gunning for best gift this year. Let's go. So,
I have some nice looking boxes to my right here. So we'll see, listeners. But I hope that everyone enjoyed sending a gift. And shout out to Bryce Marita, who sent probably the final gift. So that dude's a baller. Love that guy. Amazing man. A Japanese American man. He's like related to Pat Morita, who is Mr. Miyagi, everyone.
Oh, I didn't even know.
You didn't know that Mr. Miyagi was Pat Morita and that Bryce Marita is... Well, I don't know if he's related to him, for the record. I don't know if he's related.
I was waiting for you to clarify.
Last name. Yeah. I don't know how many people have the last name Nishiki or like Nissan or Honda in Japan, but I do know that Bryce Marita is probably related to Mr. Miyagi. That's all.
Probably. Yeah, definitely. If he's a Patreon subscriber, he's
beautiful at least. Yeah. So, any other hopes, Brian?
No, sir. I hope that you didn't drink too much.
No, I think I'll be fine today. I think I will be ready for the rest of the night. But I am glad that I have a tiny bit left of my Guerrero 17, and I'm glad that you have a lot left of your Sazerac 18. But most of all, listeners, viewers, I hope that our love of whiskey lifted your spirits. Like grandma's about to punch you in the face with an apple pie.